Joining us now is Steve Hanson, President and CEO of Surface Metals. Now, Steve has recently been on a bit of a tour, Bay Street in Toronto, and then New York City at Wall Street. Steve, I know that you've been taking in a lot of information, having a lot of high-level chats, and we want to know, in your opinion, what are the most important things that Wall Street is saying about gold right now?
Well, pleasure to be with you today. And again, it's been an interesting time, certainly for gold, for those that have been following it this past year. And there's a lot of noise actually happening on Wall Street around gold. And many are wondering, as gold has hit all-time highs in 2025, although we've seen a recent pullback, we are back above $4,000 an ounce US, which is good for gold investors. And Wall Street still continues to believe that we're going to see higher prices. So JP Morgan is predicting $5,000 for gold in 2026. Goldman Sachs is predicting 5,000 gold in 2026, and even 6,000 gold in 2028. The CEO has come out and said at a conference recently that $10,000 is not out of the realm of possibilities sometime in the future. And then if you look at some of the other international banks, the big boys, UBS, Deutsche Bank, HSBC, they're all predicting double-digit growth in gold prices in 2026. So there is still a bullish sentiment. There's lots of room to move here. And again, Wall Street still seems to be pretty excited about gold these days. You know, one of the comment about gold really is that, you know, we're seeing this insatiable demand. And for those that are familiar with Costco has been selling gold bars. And they are selling out. They cannot keep enough gold bars on their shelves at Costco, which is kind of saying what's happening in the gold world today. Again, if Costco's selling out, that's a good sign for gold.
Absolutely. Now, the premise of the next point you raised got me very intrigued. You're saying that the gold market is still very young. And of course, we have seen it trading at all-time highs in 2025, really a fresh energy, a new era. But of course, we all think of gold as something very ubiquitously ancient, as a treasure. So what is it that has you positing that this is a young market?
Well, if you look at historical runs on gold, they tend to be a multi-year situation. They tend to last for an extended period of time. So this most recent run we've seen in the last year to 2 years has been relatively short compared to historical runs. Again, history doesn't always repeat itself, but you look at all the gold bull runs that have taken place, they've been a multi-year situation. The other thing that we're seeing here is we're seeing continued interest by central banks around the world. There have been record purchases this year by central banks. Even in the last couple of months, there's been continued purchases. Places like Poland and Singapore, India, France, and others have continued to purchase inventories of gold at record numbers. So, and everything that we've seen from their economists and their banks have suggested that buying is going to continue. We're also potentially seeing further interest rate cuts. We're seeing low treasury prices. We're seeing continued volatility in the global political landscape, whether it be war or war situations, whether it's terrorist situations. There's all sorts of geopolitical and economic turmoil that's happening throughout the world. So there's a lot of reasons why there is belief by experts a lot smarter than me that we're in a very young gold market here.
And what do you think are the main factors driving this bull market right now?
Well, I've mentioned a few here, but there are a few others as well. Gold still is in its early days and infancy when it comes to the broader market investing in gold. Although we're all familiar with that shiny metal, there still is a large interest that is still learning about gold from the investment community standpoint. If you look at percentage of people's portfolios, gold and precious metals continue to be a very, very small amount. And there are predictions that as we continue to see interest in gold, the broader investment market is going to continue to purchase it. We're seeing shifts from traditional fund managers who are now looking at gold as a hedge, as a place of safety and security. And so we're seeing not just the institutional investor cycling into gold, we're seeing the retail investor learning about it and ultimately accumulating it in their portfolio in a number of forms. It could through a traditional mutual fund, it could be through large cap gold stocks, or it could be through mid and juniors such as ourselves. So it's still very early and in the stage of investors investing in gold as a percentage of their portfolio. And the belief is that's going to continue to increase over time, especially as earnings start to come out. For gold companies that have been in production this last couple of years, we're going to start to see some very impressive financials. And that's certainly going to attract the broader investment audience. We're going to result in new analyst coverage. All those things are going to continue to point to gold as an investor. And then also we're seeing fewer and fewer gold mines come on stream. And I'm talking about new gold mines. With this in appetite, as it's continued to increase over the last while for gold, as central banks have continued to purchase, as the demand for gold has continued to increase, we're not seeing enough gold mines come on stream to meet this supply. And if you think about those gold mines that are in production, and existing gold mines, they've been high grading them for a long time. They're now looking at medium to lower grades as the only ore that they can mine. So as a result, we're seeing a supply crunch and we're seeing demand increase. And so this also will affect prices and ultimately could continue to drive this bull market in gold when it comes to what we're actually mining out there globally.
Well, Steve, my final question, and it is a good one. Where does Surface Metals fit into this beautiful gold picture you've painted for us?
Well, as you know, I'm the president and CEO of Surface Metals. I'm also the founder. I focused on North America as the place that we like to invest on behalf of our shareholders and our team. We're focused on one of the best mining jurisdictions in the world. It jumps back and forth between Australia and Nevada. And again, we've got 3 projects in Nevada, and one in particular I'm going to focus on today, and that's called the Cimarron Gold Project. This is located in the southwestern region of Nevada in a very famous gold trend called the Walker Lane Trend. And it's in a historical gold producing region. We're in the San Antonio Hills. We're in an old mining district where mining was done here for gold back in the 20s and 30s. What's most interesting about this project, I acquired it in April of this year, is that it was worked on by Newmont and by Echo Bay, which became Kinross back in the late 80s and 90s. This is back when gold was in the hundreds of dollars, not the thousands. And so we have a very interesting drill database. We've got surface samples as high as over 100 grams per ton. We've got high-grade intercepts that were a part of that historical database, and we have a small resource that's not 43-101 compliant. And so our goal here, since we acquired it, is to digitize all that information, put it into new sections, a 3D model. And what we're finding now is that there are areas where mineralization is extending not just deeper, but also in different directions. And so our goal here is to confirm that historical work that's been done, ensure that we can put that information into a 43-101 report. And again, we're hoping to have a phase 1 drill program here designed by the end of the year, and then drilling in the first half of 2026. So this is a great region for us to be drilling. Round Mountain, a very famous mine, is just about 25 miles to our north. It's owned by Kinross. Kinross poured its 15 millionth ounce of gold there recently. And so we're in a district that, again, has been producing gold and precious metals for over a century, and we're excited to get started in a work program and continue to make new discoveries.
Well, Steve, we're very, very grateful for you reporting back all of this research fresh from Bay Street and Wall Street. And we're very excited to see how Cimarron and the rest of the project portfolio develop over at Surface Metals.
Great. Well, thanks for your time today. And please feel free to visit our website at surfacemetals.com. There's additional information on our other projects. And feel free to reach out to me as well. And I'm happy to answer any questions on behalf of our company.